Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today we're going to be working on the Sweet Heart Roadster again. So it's back in the rotation for project videos. In the last video, I think what we worked on is getting these master cylinders mounted on the Firewall. We had to strategically get them placed in a spot that was good for engineering our pedal setup, but also looks good and works around the beads in the Firewall. I think we did a pretty good job. They look kind of natural, so to speak, there, and I'm happy with them. So the next problem was getting a set of pedals made for that. Unfortunately, because we were bound by the beads on the Firewall, we couldn't use a spacing of the master cylinders that was like we could get an old set of Anson hanging pedals, or even like a 50s era Ford hanging pedals like the Schroll car has, because those would not work. So we have to kind of make our own from scratch. So we were digging through our parts stash. We bought a ton of parts from Will in Seattle last year, and one of the things he had was a bunch of different manual transmission conversion kits, so to speak, from Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Chevy, on and on and on from the early to mid 50s. And some of the stuff just in this time and era isn't as popular and isn't worth a lot of money. So we saved those pedals, and that's what I have here. So we have some, I think these are Olds or Buick pedal pieces for a conversion that are laying around. But what I really like about these pedals, I'm going to be using these as a basis, is they're kind of like an I-beam shape. So it's kind of reminiscent of the front axle, which I think is really cool. Has a nice pin, swivel pin that's already in here that's really nice, and then it has brand new oil light bushings in it that somebody already put in. So as far as this goes, this stuff's nice and new, so it should work out really, really well. So I'm going to work on making a bracket that will match all of this. Hopefully I can use this center pin for the spacing, and then we'll have to heat and bend the pedals and see if we're going to use these eyelets here or do something else. I'm not sure yet, but as far as the shape and style of the pedals go, I think they're a good basis to start building off of, like we do with a lot of this, which is, you know, real deal hot rodding. So let's get started. I used to try and do this by hand. Oh, the drill is terrible. That's why I welded a fixture onto this, so it's easy to clamp out of the way. Slinger on the front got bent and caught the cover, and it ripped it in half and it's wedged in. Behind the front, no, behind the front pulley. Just that round washer thing that goes in front of the timing gear. Oh. Weird. Can it be bent back, or? We have others. I just haven't seen it. right, so I got to use the new lathe, and this was a good project to get myself working on it. So I turned this down, decided to make a pivot here that was a lot longer. The original one was only, you know, a quarter of this. Here you can see. So made that up, and now we could put my plates that I've cut out and drilled, they could sit all the way out. So I have them set up like this. So we can put them towards the outside. I could spread the pedals out more and get them in center. I was going to try and use these tabs here, but I just don't think it's going to work out with the way the design is. So I think I'm going to end up drilling a hole in the web here, and then we'll run a clevis around that of some type. But for now, we're just trying to get the pivot and the pedals sitting. Everything seems to fit on here pretty good now. There, like that. So obviously I need to cut all this excess bullshit off again, but we can get our pedals now lined up right over the center of where the master cylinders are, and then once I weld these legs on, we'll be set. And then we can just cut the shaft off. I'll cut some circlip grooves in it or something so that it'll stay in place. And then we can set the pedals where we want, and then mark it and put some circlip grooves for keeping the pedals, you know, over top of the master cylinder. And yeah, then we'll be pretty much fit up, and we can start working on bolting this back up, figuring out the clevis, and then figuring out, I think I'm going to add some extra bowl holes at the top that might go through the firewall just for some extra stability at the top of the plate. And yeah, so a little bit more work, but this is a big step. We got the plate fitting up, got the axle section fitting everything nicely, and we can start dialing it in now, and hopefully we'll have a set of pedals that'll work with our master cylinders very soon. Okay, so got my circlip grooves cut, and I think we can do a test assembly on this now. So I got these little, they're actually the perfect spacers. They're old school. They're supposed to tighten up the pitman arm on an old side steer car. We had a bunch of them NOS. That's why we don't throw anything away, because they ended up being like perfect. So got that. And then our pedal goes here. Like so. Got our tube we made to space everything out. Goes there. We got our last spacer here. There we go. Ooh, actually, that's freaking perfect. Wow.
Every now and then you get lucky.
Yeah, every now and then yeah, that's actually, I thought I cut my groove just a little too tight, but it's, everything pulls together real nice. Real sweet. So now I can drill my holes. There.
Alrighty. Right, you just got
Alright, so did a little sanding with the flap disc just to blend some of the edges after milling it down, and test fit all this. So we got the little clevises can go through there. Of course they'll be sitting up much higher when everything's in the car, but that. Spacer goes here. Oops. There we go. Put our circlip back on, we'll be good to go. There we go. Now we can test fit. Same as before. Oh, where's the hole back? That's it here. Oh. Way too low. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll just hold the pedal back on that first one. Okay. take inside master cylinder. Yep. Okay. Now to do some heating and burning and moving. Do you want to try and do the clutch pedal first, maybe? So you're not reaching across that to do the clutch pedal? That sound?
Whatever you think. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, I'm just thinking if we do this one first.
Right.
If we do this one first and then this one, you're going to be leaning across that.
one. Yep.
So
Yeah, that's cool. Yep, I can reach it.
it's good practice. That's the easy one.
Yeah.
Good, quote unquote. That one I think we just need to get.
Probably
We just need-
straight.
yeah,
just
just
take
take-
the bend out of it.
exactly.
Probably, yeah.
All right. Not a good. Come on.
There it goes.
I don't know how well that's gonna work. It might make that really hot too. You guys should have had those pliers there. Oh, that would get a ticket. Want me to get out of there so you can?
I can get it.
Just it out there already.
There we go.
Alright.
I'm good when you are.
Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. Right there. Let's call that good for now. Closer. That worked pretty well.
Heck yeah.
I wonder if we can do that on the other one.
Not with that damn steering column in the way.
Well, you might. Let's see what happens. Alright, you ready?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It's like happy.
Look, look, look. Wait.
Did it?
Alright, close. I'll have to weld it up. Was it?
So I thought I saw it. Or it might have just moved back a little bit.
I think it just moved back.
Okay.
Alright, give it a little tug.
Not yet.
It's good now. Very good.
Yep. Yep. We're going. That's probably over about close to 1 inch from where we started there.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a little
Yep.
spring back, so that's probably good there. Yeah, so this is another one of these deals where it's like the 33, it's like gonna get pedals in,
Mhm.
kind of where they need to be, and then we get a little further. Yeah, because like if you look at the clutch, it feels like it's too low, but I can almost touch with my toe there, and that's without even a pad on it. So you put a round pad,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be right on my toe where you probably want it.
Right, which would not be bad at all.
And then same thing with this, like your foot's going to be up like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost, I mean, they're damn close. When I
Yeah.
first hung them, I was like, they look way too short. But now that, now that you're in the car and thinking of where the floor is gonna be, I
Yeah.
think with having a big enough pad, I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depending on the pad you put on it, you wouldn't even
Because
have
this
to.
one, you know, my heel's basically at the same spot as that one.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, I'm right there.
Yep.
And then your throttle will be like over here.
Yep.
So it may work out pretty good.
It's
I think you're
looking
gonna hit a little, I think you're gonna sit a little bit higher than this
Yeah.
thing. But, not a lot, but just a little bit higher. So I think we're in the ballpark
Oh,
there.
definitely. It's definitely going to be something you can work with.
All right, so we got the pedals all mounted in. The last couple shots you saw Steve and I were heating and bending the pedals to just roughly get them where we needed them. The brake pedal obviously was on the wrong side of the steering column, so we heated and got that over here. We will need to adjust all this once we get further along, but a lot of this is getting stuff kind of in the right position so I can start feeling where everything's gonna sit when we're a little further. One big thing is I didn't have two brand new master cylinders to put in that we could actually push on this to see what the travel's like for the pedal. Obviously these are probably gonna sit with push rods a bit further out like this, which will require some further bending of them. But for now, we got the heim joints in there, or the links in there, rather, not heim joints, so that we can see everything's gonna kind of hit where it needs. It's bolted up. Everything seems sturdy. The only couple things I might do to add some strength to it, just as kind of some extra peace of mind. I'm gonna add a strap, I think, along the top that's gonna connect these two like legs, if for lack of a better term, across the top there. And then I'll probably put some little webbing on the inside when I finish weld everything, just to give them some extra stability. But for now, for what we were doing in this video is trying to get pedals in the car that line up with the master cylinders, and I think it came out pretty good. So next couple videos or steps, I don't know if I'm gonna video it or not, I'm gonna work on getting this old column drop to fit. I'm gonna probably reshape it to fit, or make a piece to fit the dash, get that bolted up, get the steering column back on. I'm gonna sit in it, see how everything feels in there, and fiddle around with it, make some push rods, etc., etc. And then we'll be getting a little bit closer to the pedals and the steering all being how I want it. Then I can start welding up the steering column that we did a little while ago, etc., etc., and keep working forward. But a lot to figure out when you're pretty much re-engineering a whole entire car and fitting a bunch of parts that weren't supposed to be in here in the car. So now we have our custom-made pedals with 50s Buick pedal arms and my custom-made pieces all jiving together, which is pretty cool. So that is a little update on the Sweet Heart Roadster. Thank you guys for following along. Appreciate it. Catch you later.